3-point field goal percentage. That's sophomore Kasey Wilson, who joins us. 10 points, 8 assists, and UCF 66-63 win. That was wild down the stretch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was crazy. Something we really haven't seen this year, and I think that proved a lot about us as a basketball team. That through that we can overcome it and still get in the lead and control things. When
I asked Coach before the game if the team understood and respected Belmont's program and the success they had. I don't know how much you know about Belmont. UCF once was in the same conference with them back before UCF went to CUSA. Did you understand much about their success coming in?
Well, I knew they were a very good basketball program over the years, and Coach talked a lot about them and how they have tradition. And, the coach has been there for a long time, and obviously him being there that long means that he's doing something right with that program, and I think he's a great coach, and that's a great basketball team.
You guys led by 12 at the half. They didn't shoot well at all, some of it by your defense, and they just missed shots. What did Coach tell you guys in the locker room at the break?
Oh, well, he said a big key was that they were 1 for 11, from behind the arc, and he said that they hit 16 when they played Stanford, and they ended up winning the game. And, just three-pointers are so deadly, at times it can be a dagger. And for us to just, key on that is a big part, us to be able just to take that away, because if they get hot, they can really just get going.
It is hard to play with a lead sometimes, isn't it, down the stretch?
It is, because, if you play with the lead for so long, you kind of you get comfortable and lackadaisical, and, that's something that I think good basketball teams, will go away from, and, but, it's tough, though.
We talked, Tell and I did, that Keith struggled yesterday. You knew that. Did you see early that, hey, he came to play tonight and he was set to have a big game?
Yeah, I think Keith comes to play every night. He got doubled a lot last night, so it was hard for him to, really do much. So he got a lot of the other guys involved. But, he comes to play every night, and I think that he just came out and really just wanted to win. You could see it. He was focused throughout the whole game. He played a ton of minutes, and I think it was just good for us to, kind of follow him and play off his energy and his, success he was bringing all night.
Last question for you. How much did you work on your outside shot in the offseason? Because you're shooting deadly right now outside.
Yeah, that's one thing that my high school coach always told me. He's like, if you can, get deadly at one thing, he said there's a lot of guys who are good at, many things. But he said if you can just get really good at one thing, make that your art. And he's like, that's not mine yet, but that's one thing that I really want to be able to do is just pick that up, be more of a threat, so they can't double Keith as much. And I think that'll help, the whole team out a lot is, if they have to play up on me, on the arc, and that'll definitely help the post.
10 points, 8 rebounds, named all-tournament team Kasey Wilson. Congratulations.
Sir, thank you, Mark.
UCF wins at 66-63. Head coach Donnie Jones going to step in and chat with us tonight. Again, go to 9-3 and win the 2012 Holiday Tournament. A good win over Belmont, who drops to 9-4. And head coach Donnie Jones sits down to chat with us as UCF gets the three-point win, 66-63. Wild finish. Made an exciting basketball game. But, Donnie, it's a good team and a really good win for your squad tonight.
Yeah, it is a good win. It's a very good basketball team. And you know what, we got tired. And, we probably should have went to the bench a little bit more. But, I give those guys a lot of credit for our team, how they fought through it. I thought Tristan and obviously Z was all banged up there with his deep thigh bruise, and he's got a bruised tailbone. It keeps back was bothering him, and those guys rode it out. And but I was really happy for the win. We still got to make some free throws down there, but we did what we had to win.
Donnie, you're up by 12 with the break. They didn't shoot the ball well, and knowing you probably told your team, hey, the chance of that happening the second half is not going to happen. What'd you tell your team at the half?
Yeah, well, I told them that the first half you could throw it away. We did some good things. Obviously thought we played very good defense, which had us in the game. And we won the game because we kept them under 40% and kept them under 30% from the three-point line. Those were two key factors. But I knew the second half that they would loosen up and they would start shooting them in. And that's just the kind of team they've been. That team's a veteran team. They know how to win. They played in a lot of environments and had great wins on the road at Stanford already this year. So I knew it would be a struggle down the stretch. But we're still learning to try to play together right now, Mark, as we're still, trying to figure out, who needs to get the ball at the end and what we need to run down the stretch and who needs to get touches. We're still trying to – I know what needs to be done, but they're still trying to figure out how to do that.
Last night, Keith Clanton saw a lot of double and triple teams and was frustrated and found a way to help out in other areas. Tonight, Keith had a monster game with 26 points and 10 rebounds. What did you like early that you saw to Keith that you kind of felt like this is going to be a good game?
Well, it started off first play of the game just trying to see how they were going to guard in the post and try to get a feel for the adjustments. And, they were switching certain things. And we needed to get – him touches, and I thought that we spaced it out even late in the game. We went into a spread offense so we could get him outside to get him inside and loosen things up because they were jamming that middle up so much. So, but I thought Keith played with great toughness. I thought he rebounded the ball offensively, finished in the post tonight. He took his open threes when he was there and made a couple of those, and I thought he played a complete basketball game.
You mentioned about Isaiah Sykes. He did hit some free throws, missed a couple down the stretch, but 16 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, no turnovers. There's so many things out there for you, and both ends of the floor tapping balls, and that's just a typical Z game, isn't it?
No, absolutely. He just, he just finds a way to woo your team to win sometimes, and you always want to have a team full of winners, and Z's just a winner. He's not going to be a great free throw shooter. He's a good free throw shooter at times, and he's one of those guys. It's hard to take him out. He was hurting, and there was a point he was wanting to come out of the game there, but I just needed to keep him in.
Down the stretch when they made that run, and it seemed like they scored every possession, you had a couple turnovers, but I didn't get a sense of team panic. I think you executed, and then just some bizarre things happened there. And again, Belmont hit a bunch of shots there, but late game possession, were you okay with the way your team handled for the most part?
Yeah, I got to watch it. I was okay. We had a couple loose balls that we didn't get. You got to get loose balls. I got a couple tip-ins in. You got to end the game, and you can't keep momentum going. And you got to do that by making free throws and getting fouled. You got to do that by getting stops and getting rebounds. You got to make sure you're getting the ball in and not letting them get turnovers to get open threes where you're in a scramble situation. And we did that a few times, too many times. And I think that that's something we'll learn from. We've really been in just 2 really tight games down the stretch with Old Dominion and this one, and we've been fortunate to win both those games.
Guy has struggled has been Calvin Newell, but down a 7-point lead and shot clock winding down, hit a long 3 about 2-3 feet behind the line, and you hope it's one of those that kind of gets his confidence going. He felt good after that, and that was a big basket.
Yeah, it was a big basket, and Calvin still, I thought he played some good defense there tonight, especially in the first half on the point guard there who runs their show, and he's still trying to figure out, what he needs to do to facilitate and what he needs to do to score, and that's going to come. It's a guy that's been out for a whole year. He's trying to get his legs back under him and getting his feel of playing out here in front of the crowd again. And there's a lot of factors, almost like a freshman again, trying to learn to fit in.
A great win for your team, Donnie. Now a couple of days off with the new year and some practices before 2 final non-conference games and a big game coming up with USF again, the rematch. And I know your team will look forward to that one.
Yeah, we really will. I think we're going to take tomorrow and rest some of these bodies here. We've came back Christmas night and we've practiced for 3-4 days, and now we played 2 games in a row. So we need to rest our bodies and come back here Monday and Tuesday and get ready for another great game here against South Florida.
All right, Coach. Congrats. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Mark.
Donnie Jones and UCF wins it by a score of 66-63. For a complete recap of tonight's game with highlights and more, log on to UCFathletics.com. Knights are back in action on January the 2nd when the Bulls of USF come to the UCF Arena. 8 o'clock start. That night our pregame begins at 7:30. For our producer, scoreboard host Brian Fritz, back in the studios, color analyst Taylor Young, and the entire UCF Video Service crew, I'm Mark Nadeau saying so long from the UCF Arena. Final score of the championship game of the 2012 Holiday Tournament. UCF beats Belmont 66-63. This has been UCF Basketball on the UCF IMG Sports Network.